Alright, hey guys, sorry about that. Today I'm making a video. Um, I wanted to talk about a very common thing amongst teens, and people kind of pass it off. It's depression. And I'm making this video because I personally dealt with depression. I've been dealing with it for quite a long time. And now that I'm finally on the other side, I'd like, hopefully, this video to touch at least one person and, make them see that there is an end to it, that it does get better. So, before I begin, we'll start with kind of my life story. I was born in 1997. So I'm 17 years old. When I was born pretty normal. I have an older brother and older sister. I'm the youngest of three. When I was 3 years old, my mom and dad got divorced, but they were pretty sociable, pretty civil about it. Um, they both stayed in my life. And then, I want to say when I was 4, I don't really remember, my mom remarried to my now stepdad. That's him. He's right there. Um, so, life moves on. Kind of grow up like a normal country boy out on a farm. Um, and then when I was 14, on my dad, well, we'll go back. My dad was married 3 times. My mom was second. And on Thanksgiving weekend, 2011, my freshman year, I was 14. Him and his first ex-wife have been trying to rekindle everything, and she came in to visit. Wasn't a big deal, she was alright. So, following Monday, November 28th, I get off the bus, I walk up the driveway, normal day. I walk through the front door, and my mom and my sister are sitting on the couch, and, they just had these looks on their faces. And it's really hard to describe. Um, but, and they're like, Timmy, we need you to sit down. We need to tell you something. It's really important. I was like, okay, whatever. So I sit down. I thought I was about to get yelled at about something. And they told me my dad had been having, he was a single man at the time, sort of, that he had been having an affair with one of my best friend's moms. Um, and as soon as they said the words, I knew. I knew who, I knew how long, I knew everything. I mean, I'd had suspicions about it, but, I was 14. I didn't know anything. And he was still around, he was still being a decent dad. But when they told me that, it hit hard. I remember I got up, I punched walls, I screamed and yelled, and so later that night, it was raining. I only remember that because I remember everything about that night. I go to his house, me and my mom. But I still had hope. I still kind of had that, he'll still be around. I'll still have those, father and son moments with him. But I went to his house and basically told him how big of a piece of shit he was. Um, so, we leave. And like I said, his first ex-wife was here. She lives in California. Well, at some point throughout that night, I don't really know when. I want to say about 3 o'clock in the morning. I know it was at some point there. Him and his first ex-wife got on a plane, went back to California, and he's been there ever since. And I didn't hear from him for about a month. Of course, he had my cell phone number. He had a cell phone. So a month goes by, and now it's Christmas time. I'm at my aunt's house, and that's my aunt and uncle's house, his brother's house. They still wanted me around. They didn't agree with anything he did, whatever. And I got a call. It was on their house phone, and it was him. Well, my aunt she hadn't really talked to my mom much. She didn't really know the full story. She just knew his side. And I'm not going to diagnose this, but I'm going to say he's a compulsive liar. Because he had been telling my aunt that my mom wouldn't let me talk to him, when in fact she was doing the opposite. She wanted me to. I didn't want to talk to him unless he was gonna talk to me. And I will go on and say this is gonna be a pretty long video. I do apologize for that. But and it was the same bullshit you would expect. It was, I did it for your safety, da 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 da. When really, I kind of took that to heart. I kind of, I had hope again. Oh, he'll be back. He's just gone for a little while. But really, in all reality, it was his own selfish, reasoning. That's beside the point. So about this time, about a month goes by, and I start really realizing he's not coming around. Now, let's kind of go back in the story. October of 2011. Now, he left in November of 2011. In October of 2011, I found my passion. I started riding with EMS here. That's the ambulance people. Fell in love with it. Let's jump back forward. So about February, I was having a real bad night. It was kicking me bad. And, I was crying, listening to the worst music you can listen to when you're sad. And I just decided I had enough. I was going to end it all. There was no purpose for me being around anymore. I was tired of the pain. I was sick of it. So I went outside, took a rope with me, got in a tree, tied it on, and was about to jump, and I heard sirens. And I saw red lights flashing, and I knew that there was an ambulance out there. And then it hit me. It was my instructor's shift working that night. And I knew that when I was discovered, it would be one of his 2 trucks coming out to get me, coming out to declare me dead and see me like that. And I'd only known him a few short months, and I had enough respect for him that I couldn't handle letting him see me like that. And that's honestly what saved my life. That's what kept me from, jumping out of that tree that night. And so I go back in the house, and I'm crying. I finally get to sleep. Then a few months goes by, and I start feeling better. I kind of pushed it in the back of my head. Just didn't think about it. Distracted myself, whatever. And so 2 years goes by. Coming up on the 2-year mark of him leaving. This is about last October-ish. And it starts hitting me again. I can't sleep. Insomnia is whooping my ass. Have that feeling I'm going to cry every night. And so I decided maybe alcohol soothes my pain. Maybe it'll drown my sorrows. I don't really know. All I know is it made it worse. It worked for a little while, but alcohol's a temporary fix. And we all know that. But so then I just decided to surround myself with the most positive people I physically could. Put myself in the best situations I could, what have you. And I got better. I started talking about it to, people I never thought I would. And then February of 2014 rolls around. And I'm browsing Twitter, and I see some posts on there, rest in peace to a certain name. And then I realized one of my all-time best friends, somebody I've been best friends with since I was 3 years old, had died. And of course it devastated me. But I was lucky because, the things I had been through before that had prepared me. And I decided to be the strong one. I decided, everybody else needs me. Nobody else is strong enough to stand here and say, come talk to me about it. I can handle it. But I did. And in all honesty, that made me feel better. Because I'm one of those select few people. If I can be in the worst mood ever, but if I can help one person, I feel better. So I move on, and time gets better. My depression slowly starts going away. To this day, yeah, I still deal with it. I still have my days, it's nights. It don't really hit me in the daytime. Sometimes it does. But I have my nights where, I just want to put my head through a wall and start crying, but there's no point in doing that. And this video is lagging really bad. I apologize. So that's my story. I'm almost 3 years down the road. In 4 months, it'll be 3 years. I'm, about to be 17 years old. Now I have one more year of high school. I'm a senior in high school. I was a freshman when this all started. But yeah, it took me a long time to get through it. It did, and it hurt. And like I said, I still deal with it. But I've been extremely lucky, and I've had supportive people by my side the whole time. But I never used them. I never utilized that. Subconsciously maybe. But I've never been the kind of person that I'm going to go to somebody else about my problems. I always handle it on my own. That's what I've done. Looking back, I wish I would have. I wish I would have went to somebody. I wish I would have been smart enough to get on YouTube and, find somebody giving their story and giving their outcome. But I didn't. That's my hopes here. I'm hoping, one of you watch this video, hopefully, pray to God you're not going through depression, but if you are, hopefully this will reach one of you in time to give you the hope to keep pushing forward, because that's what it takes. It doesn't matter, if you drink 3/5 of whiskey a night, you wake up in the morning, you're still going to have this pain. But if you have the hope to push yourself through it, if you can drive yourself enough, you're going to make it out. It's going to go away eventually, whether you're pushing your ass in the weight room every day or running or doing something positive. You're going to make it out. Drinking every night, that's not going to fix it. Or, suicide's never the answer. Because, yeah, it's going to take your pain away. But then you're going to put everybody else that's ever cared about you in the same pain that you've been in. So, this is my story. And it may seem cliche, it may seem, some of you are going to say, well, never should have hit you that hard. No big deal. People go through that every day. But at the same time, everybody has their own their own story, their own thing that really sets them off. This was mine. So, hopefully I'll reach somebody in time to help them out. But, my name's Timmy. My messages are always open. I hope y'all like it. Thank you.